Happy Hump Day, everybody, and welcome back to Brown Bag Bets. Powered by BETSPERTS, we are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. Joining me, as always, from Minnesota, Mr. Andy Molitor. How's it going, Andy? How are you this morning? I had a glass of grapefruit juice for the first time in quite some time this morning. How's the last time you had grapefruit juice?
The last 900 times I've had grapefruit juice have been in a Greyhound or a salty dog, which is a Greyhound with salt on the rim for sure. I'm not sure I've ever. I shouldn't say that. Either that or a Paloma. I've for sure had it in a lot
Ooh,
of Palomas, but yeah,
Palomas are a great use of grapefruit juice.
grapefruit juice is a solid mixer. I should just buy some grapefruits. I enjoy that as a nice breakfast
Yeah,
treat.
I have to go to the store, get some juice, make some Palomas here. But enough of
Slept
that.
in
I guess we're
today,
here to
so
talk about
yeah,
sports.
breakfast. Sports, sports,
Let's get.
sports.
Have you recovered? You back on time in the Minnesota time zone?
Yeah, I just accidentally slept in, which is also fine because I really didn't have anything to do this morning except get ready for this show, talk with you a little, get ready for the week. It's been fun. There was basketball on last night. We had some upsets. Everyone makes a big deal out of that. It's like, oh my god, there was a massive upset. And in the college, well, there was 120 games. Like there was going to be one. That's just how that works. Somebody is going to upset somebody, and I mean, there's a couple decent sized ones. Still working on getting my college numbers all sussed out. Hopefully, I make some bets next week. I think this year, this has been my goal in life. This year is to bet a few more totals. I know they're a little smaller for the limits, especially when you get into derivatives like first half totals or even just betting small market totals. Like you're not able to get a lot down on those, but I still want to attack those. I think there's definitely a soft market there. Speaking of how did I this is always a trap when I don't actually go check. How did tennis go yesterday?
Tennis was okay yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I can't remember what I bet. Now that I think about it, this is actually pretty bad. Let me
You bet
pull
an
it up.
underdog to win like 2-0.
Oh, that's right. I did. I tried to wipe that out of my mind. She wins the first set, is up a break in the second set.
Oh.
Actually got a chance, was going to lose the second set, broke to get back into the second set, and then got broken to give it back. She did lose the match. It did. That's why I try to forget about this, because it was one of those things, it's like when I call the first touchdown score and tell everyone not to bet it. I was like, Kudermetova might lose the first set here, but, the better player should come through. So I should have had some Kalinina 2-0 and then some Kudermetova 2-1, would have cashed the Polish middle. That would have been
That's
much better.
why if you don't trade out of that, I can't help you. Like that's kind of thumbs chest
That's
with
true.
me.
I might not be able to afford the grapefruit juice and
The grapefruit juice is off
go
the
back and
menu,
check.
but I guess Lynn's is still going on, but we have something better coming up in the
Yeah, that's,
WTA.
you
The
look at
Virginia
Lynn's and
Slims
it's
WTA
just,
finals are happening.
They are. Lynn's, there's a couple matches in Lynn's. Thought about maybe Christian. Thought about maybe trying to do something with Paolini there as underdogs. It's always tough to lay a lot of juice, especially with the way Halep's been playing. And again, Kudermetova looked better in her last two sets there, but still a little clunky and just a little too much juice on her there. But we do have it's the last real big event for the year. It's kind of sneaky fun, Andy. I don't know how you feel about this in general, but similar to in golf, when you kind of have some head-to-head events where it's kind of match play, which is fun. This tournament's a round robin. When they get to the end of the year, the WTA, generally has two events. They've chopped it down to one, given some of the scheduling issues. Again, this is usually part of the Asian swing. There hasn't been any tennis in China for very obvious reasons in a couple of years, and hopefully we can get back there next year. But what they do is they break everybody into two groups. Each group goes through, groups of four. You play everybody once, and then you've got some semifinals. If you want to read a full breakdown of it, wrote a preview. You can find that on my Twitter at _noops. Did a nice breakdown of everything, offered a bunch of data for everybody. But what I like about it, Andy, is you get a chance to see everybody a couple times this week. Now, a couple people might bail, and that happens from time to time. This is a tough tournament. Guadalajara is one of the few WT events played at altitude. This is about 5,000 feet up in the air. Courmayeur is another event that's only about 4,000, and they have Bogota at 8,600 feet. But nothing else really besides Madrid is even above 2,000 feet. So we don't have a lot of data here to see how these women do. It is the end of the season, so we're generally trying to look for fit players, but it's kind of fun. Again, we've got the round robin going, which I always like. It gets my juices flowing, Andy. What do you think of round robin in tennis?
I don't understand how this all works. Every one of these tournaments I have to sit down and figure out because tennis should be just played like in a bracket format, and then you have the next gen finals and the ATP finals, and then you have this. So like, I I'm fine with it. Like as long as you're here to explain it to me that this is round robin, I get it, and it probably is. I suppose round robin since it's not single elimination little less favorable for underdogs, especially in the outright market. Like the attrition of a better player getting to have multiple chances to advance is probably leading us closer to some of the better players in this one.
Yeah, so again, you've got groups of four. Everybody plays each other three times. The tiebreakers are where it gets a little bit clunky, but if you win all three of your matches, you win your group. If you go 2-1, you're pretty much guaranteed a top two spot in the group. There's some
Mm-hmm.
tiebreakers based on games and things like that. And someone can leave the tournament and have somebody come in and they kind of assume their wins. It can get a little bit messy, but in general, everybody plays everybody three times. The top two players from each group go to the semifinals. So there is a chance for some of these better players who may not be in the best form lately or may need kind of a match to get into some form to have a match and then still have a chance to come in. So as I start to look at it, the odds here from an outright perspective, again, just they're really tough here. I mean, the favorite is 4-1. The biggest underdog is 8-1. And an event like this, I'm used to seeing some 10-1s, things like that. At the end of the season, one of the nice things about handicapping tennis outrights, and part of the reason that you find so much value is you have a couple big names in these events that aren't necessarily in great form that soak up a lot of value. Simona Halep has been that kind of player all year. Bianca Andreescu's been that kind of player all year. Osaka was that kind of player for a few events, but you have a pretty clean field here for the most part. It should be very competitive. And the name that sticks out to me is Iga Swiatek. Sorry, I'll try my best. I know my buddy Zane is in there and he's going to correct me because I probably got this wrong. But, I start to look at this. She's the second, third most talented player in this field. You've got Aryna Sabalenka. You've got her. Annette Kontaveit has just been an absolute tear. She's only lost one set in her last 10 matches, Andy, which has to be some sort of a record. But, Iga, again, looks to me like the second, third most talented player here, probably second most. You have some questions around Sabalenka, given her health, given the travel spot, having to come from Moscow all the way to Guadalajara. I'm happy to take her here at 6-1. She's fourth, fifth favorite to win the tournament. She's also plus 250 to win this group, which would make her the third favorite to win this group. I have her pretty close to the favorite to win this group. I was happy to take that at plus 250. You see down there, and then to win the tournament again at 6-1. I have this closer to 3.5-1, almost down to 3, given what I've heard about the courts and how well she might play there with her game. Take some time, look around. The Swiatek 6-1 to win the finals. That should be just about everywhere except FanDuel because they're lazy bums. They don't have the juice to try to get down on this kind of stuff and don't even have the tournament listed. There's not even single matches at FanDuel. What a bunch of nerds.
Get it together over there, whoever your odds provider is, which is probably from Europe where the tennis is huge. I don't understand that at all. All right. Well, I'm in on this. I'll find these for sure, especially offshore. Like
We'll have some
they're gonna be
single
all over.
matches. They have two matches this afternoon. Basically, there's 2 matches a day. Just nothing that really stuck out to me. If you did want some action, Barbara Krejcikova is inching out to plus 200. She hasn't gotten there yet, but if she gets to plus 200, I am going to have at least a small wager on her at that number. That's just too much for someone who's arguably one of the 5 best players on tour at this point.
Barbora.
Barbora.
There's a weird O in it. Betfair shaking my head. All right, I'm down. I'll place those. I like a good future on a weird tournament. Speaking of futures, this isn't futures at all. This is teasers. NFL teaser legs. I complain. I haven't had a ton
It's
of
been
teasers
so
lately.
long.
I've placed some small ones just here and there, but we had those 2 weeks in a row early in the season where there was like 17 possible legs.
Yeah, what's with this? Why do they all happen at once? Can we spread these out a little bit?
It comes in bunches. I mean, it's just random based on where the market takes these things. But I have not put my teaser legs in yet. I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite teasers are. You can put them in the live comments here underneath the actual video on the YouTube comments as well. But the legs that are available this week are plentiful. Tina Turner-esque, beautiful legs. Ravens -7 right off the bat, 7.5. She was in the ZZ Top video. Ravens -7.5 on Thursday night. Give you a nice easy one on the road. Some of these totals are a little higher than people like, so pick and choose. But yeah, a couple of Colts and Cardinals in the 10.5 range. You're not getting down past the 7 and the 3, but getting through the 10 and the 7 down to 6.5 is certainly and obviously bet these at a
Has that
book
math
who
moved a
is.
little bit, by the way? I know you've talked about that a little bit more, and you seem to be more willing than past years to kind of take a 9 and go
Yeah.
down, or take a 10 and go down. So has the math moved just a touch on that?
It has 10 with the higher scoring games. 10 is becoming more modal, which is to say it
Good
is
use of
becoming more
modal.
valuable. So, and some of these, definitely look, and it's one of those things where the math and the true thing is like, oh, you got to go through the 10 and through the 6. But like, if the market, don't overthink this and don't put yourself in a box. If the market is 10.5 everywhere, and you have a place to bet teasers and it has better juice, like you're getting the -110 on a 6 pointer and they're hanging -10, you're like, oh, I'm not going through the 10 then. Like, don't let that creep into your head. You're getting a free half point. You're getting a 6.5 point teaser for 6 because the market for the most part is at 10.5. So don't
Got to
get
watch your
too,
juice.
yeah, don't get too in your head over these, especially if you find a better number at the proper juice on this. So Raven, there's 10 of them listed on the screen for the podcast listeners. I'll rattle
Is
these
there a
off.
place that'll take all 10? You think of a place that'll let me do a 10-team teaser?
That's buried. The place that would have taken that is buried somewhere in an unmarked grave in Costa Rica right now because I have done 25 leg teasers. I'm not gonna lie.
I
You
was
could have
hoping
done. You could
Tony's
have done.
wife would stick around and have the juice to keep that thing going, but I guess not.
Maybe
Mrs.
Canada,
Tony.
but so yeah, Colts and Cardinals -10.5. Steelers and Cowboys are in that -8.5 range. You're seeing other places that have them 9.5. Look for these number Ravens, like I've just mentioned, 7.5, and then a grip of little underdogs: Browns, Vikings, Saints, Eagles, and Raiders, all in the +1.5 to +2.5, where you can tease through the 3 and the 7. Especially somebody mentioned the Vikings. Vikings might be my favorite one, even though I'm on the over in that game and I'm
Yeah.
expecting a lot of points. The Vikings are always close late, and the Chargers are pretty susceptible to what they do right. Even if Dalvin Cook is in jail by this Sunday, I think Madison is fine to rip through that horrible rush defense and get there. So, yep, 10 team teaser, throw it in there, get weird with it, and
There's a lot
tonight
to
tonight on
like.
the deep dive, I'll talk about which ones I like the most. Obviously, like I said, put them in the chat if you got it.
Are we nervous about the Steelers and the Lions? Could the
Yeah,
Lions could that just be a weird Steelers spot there? That was weird. Although as I was looking at
I
the
might
list, that
bet
was
the
the one that I
Lions
wanted to
straight up.
cross off. It's Arizona I wanted to cross off, and that one I wanted to cross off. So maybe I'll get down to an eight team tease.
Steelers are one of the earlier ones to cross off, I think, if you wanted to avoid that. This feels like such a good spot for the Lions. You don't get to say that often. They're not getting Odell, though.
It feels weird to drink. I'm sorry. So it feels weird to like the Lions that much. It's like when they have a weird tasting juice.
Yeah, drink the Honolulu Blue.
Mm.
I bet you didn't give out the play, but I did bet the Bucks last night after I talked myself into it on the air. So I'm just kind of slowly crushing the NBA. I've made like nine bets all season. But it's fun.
That's good.
It's fun to be a winner, not even watch
It's
the
about
game.
quality, not quantity.
You've got quantity tonight. You got a couple tonight. We've got a better
Well,
slate tonight.
I thought I would get more juice out of this squeeze, honestly, Andy. It's like a 13-game slate or something crazy like that. And
Yeah.
I was close to having some more bets here, but I only got down to 3. We did cash our Bucks first quarter yesterday. Sixers first quarter yesterday, which is pretty good. Then you had Bucks full game. It was nice to flip around that. Again, 3 bets here tonight. We'll start with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pelicans are 4.5-point favorites. I'm sorry, 4-point favorites now. It was 4.5 earlier. There probably is a 4.5 still around somewhere, but any number of them being favored. It looks like Brandon Ingram's probably going to miss tonight. Herbert, who's been a really nice piece for them, continues to be out. No Zion Williamson as he continues to try to kind of get his weight down and get his body under control. And
didn't make weight. It's like MMA shit.
It's not great. I hope Zion's okay. Maybe New Orleans is the best place for him to go. Maybe it's just they should take him and send him to. Well, I guess food's still good in Oklahoma City. I don't know. Where can we send him?
Somewhere that doesn't
Not
have
New
beignets.
Orleans. Yeah, so somewhere with that beignets and fried chicken everywhere, and all those sandwiches. Now I want a muffaletta. Anyway, let's keep rolling here. Try to get back on track again. The Thunder here, to me, I have this game pretty close to a pick 'em. I guess I would have the Pelicans a short favorite just simply because they are kind of at home at court advantage here. It's just been a really tough season for them with a thin roster, all of their best players out. Jonas Valanciunas. I'm sorry. Jonas Valanciunas is doing a really nice job keeping things afloat here. But I really like the Thunder here. This is a great spot for a team that has been pretty solid this year and has done much better closing games than they did last year. Again, it's early in the season, so maybe they haven't fired up the tank and started relaxing and sipping the juice, if you will. But they might eventually, and it's just a great spot. It's just so hard for me to get this number to 4, even 4.5. So let's grab Thunder here +4. Also, another number that kind of stuck out to me is a little odd, and I'm always a little concerned when I can't quite get to the number that's kind of at the market, Andy. At the end of the day, it's fairly efficient, so I should be able to try to. But Pacers -3. Nikola Jokic is going to be out tonight because he was suspended for pushing and kind of doing what, honestly, I think a lot of people can kind of identify as someone that has seen the Morris brothers play a lot of basketball, as someone that has played basketball on some of the courts that they played at growing up. Again, not quite nearly as good as them. They're tough guys. They play dirty basketball. They are not above shoving people, pushing people around when they're not supposed to. So I don't mind what Jokic did. I kind of like it. I mean, you got to protect your guys on some level, and you just can't have that kind of horse shit out there. So good for him, but good for us. We get to lay only 3 points with the Pacers tonight. No Jokic, continues to be no Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be out tonight. It's Aaron Gordon and Bones Highland, hopefully. A lot of him for sake of our Rookie of the Year bet, but Pacers -3. This seems like a gift to me. I have this at like 7, almost 8. I can't get this down less than 4 or 5 here. So Pacers -3 looks pretty good here. And Bucks first quarter. We'll go back here. Yes, it's a 3 and 4, a back-to-back, kind of a tough schedule spot for the Bucks. But I find in a lot of these first quarters, you don't really see the effects of that until kind of the second half or later in the game. The legs still are fresh to start the game here, and you do get some of the better players. It looks like Jrue Holiday will play tonight. Again, I think the Knicks probably win this game and maybe be the right side overall. But wait till the end of this first quarter. I think the Bucks, I have them slightly favored here. So +1. There's even a +1.5 out there. It looks pretty good to me. Go ahead and play the money line if you'd like, but I don't mind taking the spread here. The +1, 1.5, oddly enough, matters in such a short span here. So Thunder +4, Pacers -3, and Bucks +1. Well, I'll be sipping on my grapefruit juice, Palomas.
Paloma. Yeah, it's not quite Paloma. It's too cold up here for that. Hot chocolate season.
Turn the heat up. You got a heater. Come on now.
I know. It's
nice warm fire with a Paloma.
Put a sweater on. Real quick, we'll close it up with some golf at the Houston Open. It has a much longer name than this, but I'm not going to give those sponsors free advertising. We'll just call it the Houston Open with their badass logo. God, I love this logo. A couple of head-to-heads I played, a couple of little dogs here, and this is the so Taylor Pendrith versus Stuart Sink is the ultimate in I don't really have a sample size yet versus the biggest sample size possible. This Stewie Sink has been around for a while. If you remember back over the summer, I played him top Georgia Tech golfer. Had no idea he played at Georgia Tech because it was in the early 90s. He graduated in like 93 or something. But Stewie Sink, I think I know who Stewie Sink is at this point. Pendrith has been good-ish, had a couple decent results, obviously played really well at Bermuda, top 5 there. You're not getting a ton of data from these outlying, non-U.S. events, even though they are, the tour. When you have them in Bermuda and Mexico, you're not getting as much data. He played horribly in Mexico, and really just I don't believe Taylor Pendrith is probably a good putter at all. Like I think that's going to come back to a little bit of regression there, and I have Stuart Sink a little bit favored here. The other one is Jason Day. Speaking of guys who used to be amazing putters, Jason Day, yeah, Cameron Davis over Jason Day. I like this one too. I have this one a little closer to a pick'em, and just looking at these numbers as well, I got it. What was it that I hated about Day right now? I think just basically everything. I think he's
When's
not
the last
bad.
time he played a good round of golf? Like
Yeah, I mean,
He used to be
it's
competing for tournaments, possibly winning them, but now it's like
yeah,
no more.
he's like, yeah, Jason Day is just okay. He had a couple nice finishes over the summer at the Travelers and the Rocket. Just hasn't been great of late. I like Cam Davis's previous numbers here. I did forget to mention too about Taylor Pendrith. Again, smaller sample size, but kind of a horrible second shot guy. We're gonna kind of need that here because this is a scoring course. You're gonna have to go low here. So Stewie Sink gonna be a little shorter off the tee, but Pendrith, if he doesn't get that second shot figured out, might not have the success he did at the lower level. So Cam Davis over Jason Day plus 102 and Stewie Sink over Taylor Pendrith. Not even sure if I'm saying the guy's name right because he's newer. Plus 113. You can get some nice
I
dog
like it.
prices.
Don't even
I
have
like
to
some
lay any
dog prices.
juice. I love a plus
Nope.
money.
Yeah, just nice flat
Juice free is great.
juice free. Close her out again. I'm still not 1,000% unsure how this works. I should talk to somebody over there at WynnBet just to make sure I'm saying the right things. I literally think you can just bet anything for $1, and if it wins, it win 100. I think you could bet like who's the biggest favorite on the board in the NBA tonight? Golden State.
Yeah, let's see. If I had to pick one NBA team to definitely win,
Oh, it would be the Nets are in a weird rest spot. The Nets
that's
might
what
be
yeah,
resting
it's
players.
Golden State's not in a great rest spot, and the
Don't
Timberwolves
do it
have.
tonight. Don't do it tonight. You know what? Find a college basketball game. I'm pretty sure you can just take, like, seriously, any money line, like a minus 10,000 money line, bet $1 on it, and you win 100. So it's like free money. So I will. By the time I come back tomorrow, I will know exactly what I'm talking about with this. But for sure, any new users do get this bet $1, win 100. Links are in our pin tweet. I think I'm gonna make sure that's 100% correct too.
You
Not
know
doing
what you
a
could do?
what's that?
You could bet $1 on the Nets to win $100, then put $100 on the Magic +9, and you got a pretty sweet middle.
I like that. Yeah, take advantage of promos. Make sure you're doing it up like that.
Get creative there, yeah.
Get creative. Listen to Alex. So yeah, congratulations to us for having another nice day yesterday. Congratulations to producer Dan for making a little money in Highlight. And
Love
we'll
it.
catch you here
Highlight
tomorrow.
expert.
We'll catch you tomorrow for some Thursday night football talk.